Hey everybody, it's Danny with Gardening for Gains, and welcome back to another episode of Plant Rant. Today we're in the plant lab, getting the grow lights set up, and about ready to get the onion seeds started. So we've got some grow lights up here. Mainly use these. Well, we used these for everything last year, so we've got 2 tiers of fluorescent lights, and then I have some LED lights that I got from Amazon down here at the bottom. And even though they were cheap, they were like $20, $25 a panel. And it's just a small little, maybe foot by, 1 by 1 foot square. But they did all right. They did really, had some really good growth. So I'm really excited to see what this TotalGrow light is going to do. And this is a broad spectrum bulb, so I don't know if you can see that here, but shows just how the wavelengths of the light is distributed. So it's got a lot of blue light for compact, nutrient-rich, or nutrient-dense growth, and then the red light helps for extended growth. It makes the plants a little bit longer. So this has got a full spectrum. Also the green light to kind of penetrate through the canopy. So this is going to be a great thing for all of our seedlings, especially since we just used fluorescent last year. So I'm excited to see what a full coverage is going to do for these things. So what we've got here set up is I've got some racks from the little greenhouse that I had outside that was about 4 by 4 foot or something like that. So I'm just going to repurpose some of these racks. And really the most important thing with grow lights is just the spacing. So we're going to mark everything off here. We're going back from this corner. Well, let's get this measured off here. So we've got about 57, 58 inches. So we're going to break out, just to make sure we get our spacing right with our lights. We've got 4 lights, and I figure that I've seen some spacing, especially for transplants, because we're going to have a lot of tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. That's the next thing that's going to be going in here. But right now we're just going to get it set up with the onions, because that's going to be the first crop that we can really plant out. And then that'll be followed shortly by like lettuces and kale and some other greens like that. So we're just going to rip into this here and find my knife. So I'm just going to get this set up here so we can make sure we've got our spacing right. So just going back to that, we are, the dogs want to know what's going on here too. They can't be in the real garden, so they got to be in the indoor garden. But here we just got some trays, so it's going to add a couple inches to the height requirements that we're looking at. And that fits perfectly behind there, so that's awesome. So I'm just going to get this set up here real quick. So these trays are going to be nice just because they don't have any holes in them. And look at that, it fits perfect. We've got 2, 4, 5 trays, and I'm sure that we could even add, another little section back here. So we're gonna get on out of here, baby. So now what we're gonna do is just come over here, and you can see we've got some sockets. So what we did is just went to Menards and found some light sockets, and it's just a basic socket, and it's got a 15.5 foot braided cord on there. So we've got this set up. We're just going to hang it, wrap it around this hole here that's in this closet. And they recommend the lights to be about 24 by 24 for transplants, so that's about obviously 2 feet. And then at least about 16 to 12 to 16 inches away from the trays are going to be the lights. So we've got to adjust this up a little bit more. So we can account for about 2 inches deep on these trays. And right now that's going to be a little close. So we're going to dial that up. Thought this was going to be a little difficult with just because these have like a little on-off switch on it. but it's all right, and you know, just help control everything a little bit more. But once you get the light in here, there's nothing special about it, just screws right in. So that's going to help, you know, keep the weight going. And obviously we're going to want to center this. Just like right in between here. So the great thing is these have enough weight, it's going to pull this down. You're going to see where we're at here. So we're about 12 inches to the middle of this light. So that's going to be just a little bit too far, so we can always scoot these out a couple inches. So then we're looking at the height here, and that is about 16 inches. So that's going to be about perfect. Maybe you can move it over just a hair. And actually what I'm going to do with this one, just because we have 4 grow lights, so what we're going to do is actually add another little section over here so that we can get this set up. So I'm just going to swing this on out, and then we're going to get the rest of these set up. So I'm going to do this real quick and see how fast we can get this done. So enjoy the fast motion here. Alright everybody, so we got the lights put up. I made a little bit of a miscalculation, but that's alright because we can actually add another little section over here and end up with 2, 4, we should have room for 1, 2, 3 more trays. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 8 trays. So that's going to be huge for us, especially with running the CSA. We need to have a lot of turnover as far as like number of onions. You know, we might even have like just the onions that we have over here that we'll put over here in the fluorescent light area, and then, you know, that way when we have bigger, you know, more crops like the herbs, the tomatoes, the peppers, those sort of like high intensity things that need a little bit more high quality light, that's really going to help or be beneficial under these lights. So right now we just need to set up the rest of this and get it on the grid. So I've got another outlet strip here that we're going to plug all these lights into, and that'll help you know, reduce our chances of, you know, burning anything up or whatever. So all right, there we go. And the color on these lights is a lot different. It's not just your average like white light. It's going to be very full, obviously, you know, hence the name full spectrum, or broad spectrum, I should say. So let me get the rest of these plugged in here and show you what we're going to be working with this time around. So everything, actually let me get all the rest of these lights plugged in. And these lights are about perfect. This height over here on this one behind me is about 16 inches above everything. So that, ooh, here we go. Make sure I got this one off. Alright, so the good thing about these LEDs is, you know, not only is it a more powerful light, a more broad spectrum, it's going to have a lot more like colors and variation to help with the growth. But LED lights are very energy efficient as well. So this bulb is an 11 watt, whereas these fluorescents I think are 24, maybe even 42. So I mean or 48. So that's huge. You know, just in the savings right there. So A little bit bigger upfront cost, but half the electricity cost. So that is the differentiator as far as I'm concerned. And it's kind of the hidden cost of indoor gardening as far as like your energy cost. But let me just turn these things on and show you what we're going to be growing with this year. What? Oh, all right, so here is the full spectrum light. Oh, shit. As you can see, a lot brighter, a lot more focused light, and it's just kind of like pleasing to your eye almost. Whereas, some of these other LED lights, I'll just show you the difference here, is you can't really like work under it. Let's bring that around. Can you see that from over here? Yeah, so that's a huge difference. And the difference with like LED lights is not meant to be like, humans are not meant to see in that bright white spectrum or like, blue. And like this LED light over here is just composed of blue and red light. So those are at two opposite ends of the spectrum, of the light spectrum. So it's really confusing to your eyes. Just psychologically, it's not good for your eyes, and it's not good for you. It's a little disorienting actually. So I'm going to take that out of here. But it does look brighter. When in fact, this thing, once you get under it, that's a big difference. So we're going to add another one over here. Let me see if we even have the room. And we made a mess in here, so I don't know where There it is. So actually, if we put another light, we would have to put that other light all the way in the corner there. So what we might even do is just scoot everything a little bit closer. That way we have some more, some overlapping light. It's helping give a little bit more focus to everything. So we're going to get that installed, but right now we're just going to get everything dialed in, kind of move those wires around, and basically we're set up now to get started. So these trays are going to be filled. We've got some plug trays that we're going to be putting in here. So these do not have drainage, obviously, to hold some of that moisture in. And really excited to get started. We've got a heater in here, since it's not this is upstairs and it was like a converted attic. So the heat doesn't work the greatest up here during the winter time, but we've got it nice and toasty here. We've got mushrooms growing over here. We've got our succulents growing up top, and gonna get started probably 2 trays at a time, getting kicked off with onions. And after that, we're just gonna get the lettuce rolling. So we'll probably do 2 trays of onions every other week, and that'll ensure that we have a steady supply of green onions for our CSA. And then we're going to be kicking into the lettuce. So we'll have head lettuce and leaf lettuce. And the great thing about the leaf is it's cut and come again. So we won't have to do as much production with that, but with the head lettuce definitely will. So really excited to get rolling. Stay tuned, guys. The next video is going to be going over how to get your seeds started, specifically starting with onions, and then we'll just take you through the whole season's journey from seed to salads. So thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a comment, shoot me an email, or leave me a message on any social networking site, and I'll be happy to help out. So thanks for stopping in. As always, I appreciate it.